Let's do this. Start in a squat. Yes. So start at the top of the mat. Take a block. Sarah, you have one, right? Okay, Mom, you have your blocks. Yeah. Okay, so slide the block any which way underneath and then use the back of your triceps. So you can even take 2 blocks and make it really like ridiculous. And this is totally fine. Oh, yes. I'm just going to close this door because the flies like to go in the house and then I trap them in the bathroom and I have a war with them in the night. Okay, so just lengthen your tailbone. Close your eyes if you can, or pick something to focus on. And just breathe. Run a lot of good energy through your body. And it's amazing how just a simple pose like squat malasana really does get you grounded. Feel the outer blades of your feet press. Yeah. Connect to your breath. Just a few more breaths. Good. Blink the eyes open. Move the block out from underneath. Creep the feet a little closer in. They're going to still be pretty wide, and rest your arms on the top of your thighs. So it's like a wide, it's kind of a hybrid between a squat malasana and a chair pose. So just holding here. I call this the Port-A-Potty Squat. Yeah. Disgusting. Right. So lengthen. And there's a little arch in your lower back. That's just the nature of our backs. But you want to kind of breathe your chest through your body. And then notice, like, as you fatigue a little in your legs, your weight wants to transfer forward. So see if you can bring it a little further back. Good. Keep the legs, bring the arms up. Anjali Mudra, so your thumbs cross and your pointer fingers point up. And depending on the range of motion with your shoulders, my arms could be straight forward or they could be all the way up. And then hold. Weights in your heels, the sound of the lawnmowers. The breath is flowing. You didn't miss much except angry yoga right here. Yes, exactly. Join us. 2 more. Shoot up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Creep your feet together at the top of the mat. I always like to practice in the beginning with my feet a little separated. It feels good. Arms by side body. You're all ready. Mountain pose. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Look up with your eyes. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare yourself. You're going to step to a down dog. Okay? So step into a dog. You're right. The sun likes to move. Okay. Take up a lot of space in your downward facing dog. Yeah. Maybe bend a little deeper behind your knees this morning if you feel a little tight. Yeah. Anchor through your hands, press through your thumb, your index finger, your baby finger. There's movement of your shoulders away from your ears. Breathe your hips way up off your shoulders. So from this down dog, roll forward to plank. Yeah. And firm up the outsides of your arms. Press the hands into the mat and fix your eyes on one spot. I'll encourage you to bring your weight all the way forward onto your tippy toes. Draw the navel into the back of the spine and hold. Fix your eyes. And if it's too much, you can always just drop your knees. Take the round out of the upper back. Yeah, like breathe your chest forward. Keep your neck nice and neutral. And then for just 1 second, like bring your weight all the way forward, like way, way, way forward, like really like you're going to launch off your tippy toes. And then bring your weight all the way back and flex your feet strong into the mat. So it's like a base of a foot stretch. Try that one more time. Bring your weight all the way forward, like really feel. And then exhale, bring it all the way back. And then find neutral and bring your hips up and back, down dog. Let your head go in dog. Good. Roll forward to plank position. Drop your knees for tabletop. And then you kind of have to reset. So like walk your hands in a little closer, curl your toes into the mat, into tabletop, and then float your right leg up into space. So it's like a 3-legged tabletop, and just pause. Fire up your right thigh. The nature here is that you want to open your hip, but you want to keep it really neutral. So a strong flex of your right foot as you float it into space, and then extend your left arm forward. So it's opposite arm and opposite leg in space. Pick a drishti that works. Feel the breath moving through your body. Good. And a sharp exhale breath, you're going to pull yourself into a tiny little ball and bring your elbow to your knee and look in. Good, and then you're going to extend out and really find extension in your body. And then on a sharp exhale, creep up into a little ball and draw in. Again, find extension on the open. And then on a sharp exhale, draw it in. One more. Extend out, open it up wide. Last one, like a little ball in tight. Open it up nice and wide. Keep the lift of your right leg. Plant your left palm down. Turn your left toes out at an angle and just open up into a modified side plank. So your left knee is down, your left palm is down. I keep my toes curled into the mat. I just find it helps a little with balance, but you could play with that. And then your right leg just lifts as high as your hip as you stack your right arm up. Breathe your collarbone open, look sideways, look up, and just feel. Good. Eyes go to the floor, right hand comes down, square it off first, and then lower the right knee to the floor. Okay, so back and tabletop. Extend your left leg back, 3-legged tabletop. I think I'm making up names for poses, but it works. Yes. Just feel your left leg in space. Hold. Good. And then the right arm extends forward. So your arm and your leg, if you think you messed it up and you did the wrong side, you just do the opposite. Reach and stretch in opposite directions. You want to plug down with your left palm. Fix your eyes. So the open is all about the space. When you draw in, it's all about kind of rounding in. So go give it a try. Hug in on a sharp exhale. And then extend out and open it up really wide. Yeah, try it again. Hug in, and you just do as much as you can. And extend out, create the length. 2 more. Hug it in nice and slow. Extend it out, find the space. 1 more. Hug it in nice and tight like a little ball. Extend it out nice and big. Pause. Keep the lift of the left leg. Right palm comes down. I actually bring my right hand like a smidgen in front of my right shoulder. Rotate the right toes out enough that you have stability, and then open up towards the left. We're all going in different directions. Stack it open. Yeah. Find stability here. Collarbone spreads wide. Breath is flowing. It's a beautiful day here. It's like perfect temperature. There's no humidity. There's not a cloud in the sky. Eyes go to the floor, left hand comes down, square it off, and then slide back to a tabletop. Walk your hands out a little further in front of you, curl the toes into the mat, and now re-engage into a down dog and see how you feel. When you come to this dog, roll forward to a plank that works for you. Always know the modification, knees can drop. Halfway to a push-up chaturanga, that works. You can drop your knees, slide into an up dog or baby cobra. Pick what feels best in your body. Press even through your hands, the tops of the feet. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look to the top of the mat. Step your feet there or float. Long spine on the extension. Hands can rest in your shins. This works great. Weight is forward though. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Time to get the cobwebs out with this. Yes, arms slide straight up towards the sky. Go big. Dive over, bent knees forward, fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips to set it up. You can step. You're welcome to float, but we're going to go plank through a push-up if you're adding in the push-ups. Up dog or cobra, a back bend of choice. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Good. Look where you want to go. Step or float, top of mat. Get there light. Long spine. Keep your weight forward. Exhale. Fold. Root to rise. Come all the way up. Good. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Again, arms slide straight up towards the sky. Go big. Dive over bent knees. Forward fold. Let it go. Long spine to prepare yourself. Step or float through a vinyasa. Upward facing dog is smooth. Downward facing dog presses you back. Each one gets a little bit better. Arms stay nice and straight. That's the goal. Look to the top of the mat. You can step, you can float your feet there. Long spine to prepare. Fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Again, arms slide straight up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine sets it up, step or float through your vinyasa. Add in or subtracting push-ups, back bends. Sometimes it's just safe to go to a dog and hold for an extra breath or two. Arms stay nice and straight. Look where you want to land, step or float, top of mat. Long spine to keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold. Nice. Root to rise. Come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. One more. Arms slide up. Go big. Dive over bent knees. Forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips. Prepare it. Step, step. Float through your vinyasa. Up dog is smooth. Press with the hands and the tops of the feet. Hips up and back. Down dog. Look where you want to go. Step, float, skip, get to the top. Long spine on the extension. Exhale, fold, let your head go. Don't come up. Inhale, long spine extension. So when you find this extension, if you need blocks at the top of your mat, sometimes that's helpful, right? Because it keeps you kind of long. So find a long extension and glide your left leg back into a low lunge. So your right leg is forward and your left leg goes back. Drop your back knee on an angle. You can always pad it with something, a little towel or the block. Make sure your right knee tracks over your right ankle and glide your arms up, supported lunge. Yeah. And just breathe. So sometimes you have to back out of this pose. When you back out, you pull out of that right thigh. So you're a little bit more straight up and down. If your lower back is like more sensitive, that's the recommendation. Like I know for me, if my back is sensitive, dropping deep into the thigh does not feel good. So just kind of pull out of it and be upright a little more. Amanda, that's good. Don't look like you're having any trouble with that, so stick with it. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Integrate your back left leg so you're in a low lunge, and you may want to use the blocks. Spring forward into the extension and pause. So pause on the extension. Find a lot of space, keep the weight forward, and then take a giant step back with your right leg. Yes. Drop the back knee on an angle, find what works here, and then grow the arms up, supported lunge. Yeah, just make sure your left knee is over your left ankle. Besides that, the alignment's up to you, how it feels. Yeah, energetically reaching up, look up a little with your eyes. Letting the breath just flow through your body. Hands come down to the floor or the blocks. Integrate your back leg and then spring forward with your feet hips width distance. Long spine, pause on the extension, keep the weight forward. Guide your left leg back, big step. Don't drop the knee this time unless you know you need the modification. That's always there for you. Grip your right hip in strong. And then rise supported, regular high lunge, crescent lunge. High into that ball of your back foot. Heavy in your standing right thigh. Energetically reaching your arms up. You kind of want to steer your chest forward. Heavy in that right heel. Hands to frame your front foot or the blocks. Spring forward into a long spine, pause on the extension. Hips width distance is a good place for the feet to be. Keep that length. Guide your right leg back, big step. Pause for a second, grip the left hip in. Integrate your back leg, the muscles around the glute, the quadricep, and then rise on your breath, high lunge. Heavy in that left thigh. Yeah, you got it. And just iron it out here. Just a lot of good energy running through your body. Hands to frame your front foot or the blocks. The blocks are helpful because it's got something to launch. Glide the right foot forward. In the extension, pause. Again, glide your left leg back. Big step. Right foot stays as it is. Back foot turns on an angle this time. And notice how your right hip immediately wants to pop out. Make sure your right foot and your left foot are about hips width apart in width. And then rise on your breath, warrior one. Another suggestion, if you feel this pulling in your lower back, Meredith's showing this well. You kind of hinge forward a little, and it takes you out of that low back. Sometimes when you're straight up and down, it just goes right into your SI joint. Yeah, come over here. Don't be uncomfortable. There's nothing worse. Grip the right hip in, steer the left ribs forward and feel your feet on the floor, feel your waist growing long. Yeah. Hands to frame your front foot of the block. Let your left heel pop up off the floor first so the hip points are forward, and then spring forward. Last time, long spine on that inhalation, and then step your right leg all the way back. Pause. The left foot stays where it is. The right foot turns on a strong angle. Get it together and then rise on your breath, warrior one on the left side. So if you haven't practiced, or if you practice all the time, this is a great way to move because it's really seamless. And you really can only step as far back as your body's gonna let you, so it's safe. Steer the right ribs forward, feel the outer blade of your right foot press. And just breathe yourself open here, that's it. Hands to frame your front foot, step to a plank. Halfway to your version of a push-up, you could totally take these out if you're not into it. Up dog or cobra, you pick. Nice. Hips up and back, down dog. From the back of the mat, step your right foot forward, warrior one, and just see how that feels. High on the ball of your back foot if you don't want to take warrior one, for crescent lunge is available. You decide how it feels. Hands to frame your front foot, move through a vinyasa. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, down dog. The left foot lands, the back foot turns, warrior one. You decide, Mara, what feels better for you. I kind of like this pitched forward. Yeah. Hands come down through a vinyasa. Up dog. Hips up and back, down dog. Be still in this down dog. Hold here. Keep your arms straight. Look to the top of the mat. Step, float, skip, crawl, however you want to get there. Long spine at the top. Exhale, fold. I take chair with my feet apart, but it's up to you. Sit heavy in your heels for chair pose. Yeah, I generally start them with the feet apart and then they find their way a little closer and closer. Shoot up to stand up, drag it to prayer, drop your arms. So just a few beats together. Arms light up, heavy in your heels for chair. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. Up dog is smooth. Nice. Hips up and back, down dog. So now it's just keeping it moving. Right foot forward, back foot turns, rise on your breath. Warrior one. Some of us are fast, some of us are slow. Hands to the floor through a vinyasa. You're welcome, just go back to dog if the push-ups are too much. Left foot lands, back foot turns, rise. Hands come back down to frame your front foot. Do what feels good here. Downward facing dog is where we meet. So you'll notice in your dog, as you start to open, the center of your heels get a little closer to the ground. Arms stay set super straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float, top of mat. Into the extension immediately. Exhale, fold. Heavy in your heels for chair. Press it up to stand, drag it to prayer. Drop your arms, just like that again. Arms slide straight up, heavy in your heels for chair, stick your butt way back. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine, lots of good extension. Greatly step through a vinyasa. Nice, up dog, press with the hands in the tops of the feet. Hips up and back, down dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns, rise, warrior one. Back down we go. Keep it moving. When you get back to down dog, you glide your left foot forward, rise on your breath, your flow. Back down we go through a vinyasa. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, down dog. Be still. Use your breath to recover in the downtime. Arms stay nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float, top of towel. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Sit again into chair. Press to stand. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. Good news, just one more. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Sit heavy in your heels for chair. They work. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine sets it up. Step or flow through your vinyasa. Little baby push-ups are totally acceptable. Up dog. Hips up and back, down dog. Right foot forward, back foot turns, rise. Warrior one. Hands come back down, your breath, your count. Nice work. Left foot forward, your breath, rise. Hands come back down, keep it moving. Chaturanga, upward facing point. Hips up and back, down dog. Breathe your right leg up and back, three-legged down dog from your inner thigh. Flex the right foot strong, grip your left hip in. Come forward to plank and just drag your right knee to the back of your right arm. So without the hip opening, just slide it straight up the back of your right arm. You got it, Amanda, that's exactly it. Keep your arm straight up and down and your left leg strong. Extend your right leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Good. You're gonna come forward and hug your right knee straight in. Yeah. Extend the right leg up and back, three-legged down dog. One more time, come forward, right knee back of right tricep, somewhere along that area. Extend the right leg up and back, three-legged down dog. One more, hug the right knee in, straight in. Step the right foot all the way forward and through, turn your back foot on a strong angle, don't come up. Just make sure your right foot and your left arch, you're somewhere in the same line of energy. Take your block to the instep of your foot. I told one of my students yesterday, you can even go high if you know you're tight. Press the right palm in onto the block, back of your right tricep, and then lean back and open up into B variation. And then sometimes you get into it and you're like, okay, I'm not that tight. I can drop the block down. And I actually like to fist my hand into the block. Yeah. Left arm straight up towards the sky. Your hand could also just come to your hip. You could wrap it behind you for a half bind. Whatever feels good. That's great. Grip your right hip in, activate your left leg. Lean back a little bit and get the opening that you need. And now we just hold. Stay with it. The right hip likes to kind of tuck out, so grip it underneath and then turn your right ribs up towards the ceiling or sky. When you start to fatigue, use your breath. Unravel the left arm if it raveled into a bind or something. Pull up warrior two. The direction that your hips are open is the direction you should look. Just look forward, just look straight forward. Bend heavy into the standing right leg and breathe your upper body open. Close your eyes and let your body just kind of ride it out. Just feel. Just as much love with your right arm as your left. Wrap your inner right thigh open. Stay with it. Flip the palm, reverse the warrior. Make this a small movement. You're gonna come back to warrior two. You're gonna rest your right arm on the top of your right thigh, extend your left arm straight up towards the sky, or up and over if you have a little bit more extension. If you're dying to go deeper, your hand can come to the outside of your foot to the floor or a block. Outside of foot is called A variation, so we're working your inner and your outer thigh today. Strong angle with your left leg. It looks very good, guys. Soften your right shoulder. Yes, Amanda, that's great. Soften it more. Stay with it, a couple more breaths. Stay connected and let the body just open. Let your eyes drift to the floor, take it down to a plank and move yourself through a vinyasa. Take the up dog, it should feel good, or a back, some sort of back bend. Hips up and back, down dog. When you arrive in down dog, breathe your left leg up and back, three-legged down dog, and just pause. So when you lift your leg up from your inner thigh, your left inner thigh, let your right heel mount closer to the ground. Grip the hips in and feel your outer triceps hug. Then come forward to plank and just drag your left knee somewhere along the direction of your back left tricep. Extend the left leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Do it slow. Come forward to plank and hug your left knee. I mean, there's like kind of a scooping up. So now it's going to the center of your body. Extend the left leg up and back, three-legged down dog. One more cycle of that. Come forward, left knee, back of left tricep. See if you can get it up a little higher. Extend the left leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Last time, hug the left knee in, scoop up the belly, straight through the center. Step the foot straight through, turn the back foot on a strong angle. Go for the block to the instep of the foot, left palm down. I actually fist my hand and I use the back of the tricep to get in there and then peel open. I started fisting the hand with the whole neck thing. I find that it just creates a little bit more of a dynamic opening. So play with it. Sometimes fingertips work well. Sometimes the fist is nice. Good, half bind, or you could just have your right hand on your hip. Anything goes with this. The idea is to open up the chest and the collarbone while getting a strong back bend. So Amanda, turn your back toes a little bit more towards me. Perfect. And then Meredith, this to your side. I want you to lean back a little towards her. She'll catch you. Yeah. And then breathe. You got it. Grip your hip in and turn your ribs and look up. 3 more breaths. Stay with it. Don't fight through it. It's not like a hill. Extend your right arm up. It feels like a hill, but it's not. Warrior 2. Iron it out. So I think yoga teaches you when you do things like biking and cycle, like those types of sports, it teaches you to relax in the uncomfortable moments, if possible. Yes, it's not always possible. Breathe yourself open here. Close your eyes and hold. Not helping with my golf game. Terrible. It's like one day it's great, and the next day it's like you've never played. Awful. Stay with it. Flip the palm reverse. Take it open a little bit, just a side body opening. And then come back to Warrior 2. Just start by resting your arm on the top of your thigh. Check in here. Soften the left shoulder. Feel your left hip grip in. Turn your bottom ribs. Slide your right arm straight up or wrap it up and forward. You pick. And then if you're dying to go deep, or if it feels better for you, take the block to go outside a foot today. Yeah. It's the same thing, Amanda. Lean back towards Mary. So when your arm is on your thigh, it's almost like your arm doesn't even exist. Soften that shoulder. You got it. Nice, Nancy. Perfect. Stay with it. How can you lighten the load in the pose? Like make it feel less strenuous while you're still working your body in a dynamic way. 2 more breaths. Let your eyes go to the floor first, then take it to the ground, plank position. Move yourself through a vinyasa here. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing. Look to the top of the mat, step, step, or float your feet there. Long spine on your extension, exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow or air twist to the right. You pick how much you want to go here. If your lower back is sensitive, I definitely recommend more of like an air, quote unquote air twist where you don't have to hook, you're just creating the element of the pose. You could rest your elbow on the center of your thigh, and that's going to just keep your body very aligned and not twisting too deep. Yeah, so your elbow could just kind of rest here. That's it. Weight stays in your heels. Just look sideways, look up. Try not to look back because we have a tendency to go into our low back then. Stand your legs, pull around to chair. Recommit in chair in the center. Stay with it. You guys are strong. Hands come to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook, and twist the opposite direction. And pick the level of intensity, but most important, make sure that your feet, your shins, your knees, and your hips are all lined up, like creating a little box. So less is more in this pose. Don't go so deep if you know you're going to take yourself out. That looks great, Sarah. Watch that the right knee doesn't slide past the left. Stay heavy in your heels. Find a nice long extension of your spine moving through the crown of your head. And let the breath just energetically help you with the shape of the pose. Don't fight it. Chair pose, heavy in your legs. Sit 2 inches deeper because you can. And then shoot up to stand up, drag it to prayer at heart, and drop your arms. Just stand for a second. Have your blocks at the top of the mat. You will most likely need them. Yeah. Stand on your right leg and bend your left leg up into a tree. And I always say, don't force the tree. So go standing on your right leg, Sarah and Mer. Go up, right leg balance and left leg tree. Perfect. You could always make a tree like this. Yeah. And then what you want to practice in tree is a hugging in of your hips. It's a good thing I have this door here. I'm going right a little. Woof. Arm slide straight up towards the sky. Good. Side ribs lift. And then you look up a little with your eyes and you find some balance here. Stay with it. Anytime we balance, we anticipate falling. So if you fall, you just try again. So the attention is going to stay on your right leg, guys. Drag your hands to prayer for a moment. We're going to transition to half moon, and it's a funky transition. So you have to lean forward a little, bring your left hand to your hip, reach out for the block. That's why I said to have it. Do this slow, grip the hip in, and then slowly start to open. Believe it or not, you are halfway there with the tree, so it's not that different. And then stack it up. And if you fall because the balance takes you out, just restart again. Focus on your right hip and your foot staying forward. Nice. Add in the Shavasana, that's the bind. If you feel like you want to catch the ankle behind you. And I believe the other name for this is candlestick, if you were interested. If you're just in the regular version, lift from your inner thigh and stack up your 2 shoulders. Now look sideways or look up. That's the last piece of it. If you took a bind, release into regular Ardha. Good. Look to the floor. We're transitioning to triangle. So take a really slow step back. Drag the block with you if you know you need it. Pull up on the front of your shin. Trikonasana triangle pose. Arms and legs are straight. If you're using the block, it's to the outside of your right calf. And it could be any level of height that you need. From your hip to your armpit, stay long, look up or look sideways. Feel a strong angle with your back left leg. That's what's really going to get that hip to plug in. Feel your inner and outer thighs. Stay with this. Good. Look to the floor, circle both hands down. Lean on your left hand. You're going to go right to a Vashisthasana side plank. I like it if you need to modify because your knee can just drop. You can step right up into it. But if you feel like you can step into a regular Vashi, I like my right foot in front of my left and turn my right foot like it's in a warrior two position. From the bottom hip through the top hip, you lift. The top arm extends, or the arm can come up and over if you want a little more. This looks very good. And when you shake or shiver a little, that's okay. It just knows that your muscles are working. They're saying, hey, what's up? I'd go to the floor, then you return to a plank and you add in the push-up if you feel you want it. Up dog or cobra. Hips up and back, down dog. You exhale all the breath out. Look to the top of the mat. Step, float your feet there. Find extension on the long spine. Nice. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. You're so grateful you did the chair twist. It's done. Drag the hands to prayer and drop your arms. Keep the blocks there. We got to do the other side, but now you know what's coming. Stand on the left leg and draw the right leg up into tree. Hug the hips in. Find the hip opening. Feel your hip points lifted, the side ribs lifting, and then I draw your arms up. Some days I like my arms open with the palms up, kind of like a warrior two. So you guys have room today. You can play with that. Sometimes a V, sometimes straight up, sometimes clasp. Anything goes here. Play with it a little because it's like when you do the same thing all the time, it's nice to make little changes. Whatever you find, take a few moments where you find complete and utter stillness. Keep the shape of the lower half of the body. Just bring the hands to prayer. Just do that much first. So your mind's eye goes, okay, I'm going to half moon. So you know your left leg needs to stay strong and straight. Just take your right hand to your hip, look down and start to reach for your block. The block for me always goes up high, a little off the edge of the baby toe. And then from here, you can start to open slow into your half moon. And you'll notice your left foot does a little wiggle, a little dance. That's normal. Add in the bind if you feel that you have it, or just stay. Side ribs are long. Lift from your inner thigh wherever you are. Look sideways, look up. Think of your left leg like Tadasana. That's it. If you bound, release into regular Ardha. Transition slow triangle. Just think slow step back, pull up in the front of the shin, and then open it up. Yeah, just check in with your front foot and make sure it's forward and your back foot is enough of an angle that the hip can be in alignment. Okay, Sarah, think of your bottom ribs and turning them. Yes, towards the sky. Nice work. Inner and outer thighs open a lot here when you do this pose. I like a long hold in triangle because otherwise nothing happens. Just make sure your front leg is a little micro bend. 2 more breaths. Eyes go to the floor. Look down, right palm goes flat and you go right to your Vashisthasana. And you can drop your right knee down. You can stagger your feet. I like the staggered feet version. So you're on the blade of your right foot, but your left foot is turned on a strong angle. Your top arm can wrap up and forward if you have more motion. And then hold, lift. Good, plank position. Chaturanga. Up dog. Nice work, hips up and back, down dog. Glide your right foot forward, crescent lunge. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. You can always do this with your back knee down. Lean out, air hook or hook the elbow. Grip the right hip in and lean back a little. You're high on the ball of your back foot. You can open up your arms if you want a little more action, or you could just stay. Name the movie. You know what this is from? Listen to the song, you'll remember. Stay with it. We're gonna have a little fun in just a sec. 2 more breaths, guys. Hook in and twist. Okay, hands go to the floor, pause, fingertips to the ground. I want you to spring to the top of the mat, okay? So feet hips width, hands to your hips, come halfway up, come the rest of the way up, and cross your left ankle over the top of your right thigh. And then resit into chair, steering your hips back. Now, if you feel like your leg is kind of sliding off, it's okay to kind of arrange it. And then I give my left thigh a little bit of energy, like to open. And then start to hinge forward. And for today, use the block. If you just have one place in the center, if you have 2, one underneath both hands, because what I want you to do is create a strong shape. Flex your left foot strong around the outside of your right tricep. And when you do this, then don't collapse your chest. Look forward with your eyes and open up the chest. Now get heavy in the standing right heel and breathe. So if you have a flying pose here, this is where you would do it. Good. To come out nice and slow. Bring your hands to your hips. Don't let your left leg touch. Mary, you're on the other leg, so just do what you're doing and it's fine, and you'll switch next time. Flex the left leg strong, and then guide the foot back into a short warrior 1, okay? Arrange your feet, hip points forward, right hand on hip, because we're doing twisting triangle. Left arm extends up. We're so ready for it. Steer the hips forward and come forward for twisting triangle. Block to the instep of the foot, right hand on the flat part of your back, and then peel yourself open. It's from Echo in the Canyon. Did you see that movie? Yeah. Feel like someone's got you by your hips and they're pulling you back. So this is Jacob Dylan. 2 more. Good work. Do you feel unsteady, Amanda? Okay, so I'm going to give you a suggestion. Walk your right foot closer to Elise and Sarah and take a wider step. There you go. In width, not in length. That's it. Yes. Hands to frame your front foot, move through a vinyasa, or simply go to dog. You pick what feels good. Stay with me, guys. We're almost there. Up dog pulls you through. Hips press up and back, down dog. Okay, glide your left foot forward. Don't even think. And rise, crescent lunge. It's when you start to think, you go to the dark side of the moon. Hands to prayer at heart. Inhale, lean forward. Hook the elbow and twist. If you know you need to drop your knee, just go ahead and do that. The pose is just as good with the knee down, I assure you. Good. Lean back a little bit and really anchor that back leg. Ride out the exhale and bring more weight forward. Two more. You got it. Hands to frame your front foot. Come to your fingertips. Spring forward. Find extension, but don't fold. Bring your hands to your hips. Come halfway up. Come the rest of the way up. Cross your right ankle over the left thigh. It's the opposite for you. Yeah. Bring your arms up and sit heavy in your heel. I need to kind of help my leg into this. Yeah. So what I actually do is I take my palm, press it into the base of the foot to create the flex, and then use my hand to externally rotate. So I get all that happening, and then I go for the blocks. And I set it up. Flex the foot strong around the outside of that arm. And breathe. Feel the weight in your heel, stick your butt way back, and make sure you're not dumping down. So keep your chest as open as you can. It's good stuff. So it's about your shifting your mind right here, because keep the weight in the standing leg, bring your hands to your hips and slowly start to come out. And without the leg touching, draw the leg that's in the air into space, flex the foot, and then step it back into a short warrior one. Arrange your feet. I think you did that leg, so switch legs, Amanda. It's okay. As long as you get something of the right arm extends up, inhale the breath, come halfway down, come the rest of the way down. And remember, play with your stance. So think a little wider in positioning. Think of your hips. Yeah, and then peel open here. Watch that the shoulder doesn't roll in. Stack it open. Look sideways, look up. Anything goes. Good. Couple more. Weight in your heels. Eyes go to the floor, hands come down. Step to a dog. Okay, step to a dog. Roll forward to plank. Go halfway to your push-up. Pull yourself through an up dog. Hips up and back, down dog. Slide your right knee forward. Find yourself into a half pigeon here. We've done a whole bunch of hip opening, which is awesome. Let yourself just kind of melt into this. Down dog, go right to the other side. Swing your left leg forward and just kind of stay in your yoga trance. And fold. If it ever doesn't feel good, let me know. We have other options. A little longer. So to come out of the pose, you're going to karate chop the mat with your arms like this. It's sometimes nice to even take a block in between your hands because it really isolates and gets you aligned. Curl your right toes under, activate your right leg, and stay low. Slide back to a forearm plank. Activate your abdominal wall. Look forward at the block. And then practice what we did before, rocking your weight all the way forward so the crown of the head comes kind of over the block, and then rocking the weight all the way back. So this is isolating the abdominal wall. Rock the weight forward, do it slow, and rock it back. Bring it forward on your breath. Bring it back. One more, don't let the hips sag. Bring it all the way forward, and then bring it all the way back. Good, pause, and then keep your arms the way they are and start to walk up into dolphin. 5 or 6 breaths here. And if you need to dump the block and bring your hands and clasp them a little bit more in and bring the elbows a little closer, that's fine. So essentially you're in down dog on your forearms. Nice, it's really great. Drop to your knees, child's pose. And when you reach back with your arms, grab the base of your feet and make it really restorative. Forehead rests down on the mat and your hands kind of lock to the backs of your feet. Good. Lift yourself up. Do it slow. Take your block, move onto your butt, and lay down. Okay, so when you hit the floor, bend your knees in half, move the block with you. Set up for bridge. Do first set of bridge without the block. Create robot-like arms and just lift your tailbone as much as it's going to go. So if you had a full wheel, this is where you would do it. If you're dying to go up into full wheel, you're welcome to. If not, just stay with this. So first set, either bridge, full wheel, right. And just practice the basics. There's a lot of length from the tailbone to the backs and the knees. Yes. And you're not so caught up. Go for it, Amanda. You're not so caught up on how deep you're going from the ground. Yeah, if you want to go up, because I'm going to take you into a little back bend with a block in a sec. So give it a whirl. Steer your feet forward. Nice, Sarah. 3 more breaths like this. Good work. Exhale the breath, come down with control. Lower everything, and then everyone has a block. So ideally, if you can take your block the highest level, that's great. But for some of us, it doesn't work. You have to go low. Set up bridge with the block underneath. Slide it underneath. Yep. Clasp the hands, the arms around the block. Anchor the feet. So you're taking bridge on a block. Do this for a few breaths, and then when you feel, and if and when you feel ready, extend your right leg up, and then follow it with your left leg. So you're creating the illusion of legs up the wall. And then with this, there's a cupping of your shoulder blades. Yeah. Try this one because it feels really good and it like gets the lactic acid out. So take your feet back down for a sec. Yeah, so when you work with the block, make sure it's not digging into your butt crack or into your lower back. It's like right here. Yes, it's actually quite amazing. And then lift the legs. Perfect. You can start to close your eyes a little if you can, guys. The longer you keep your legs up like this, the more flushing out you're gonna have. So let's take 5 more breaths. Good work. Bend your knees in half. Do it slow. So sometimes we feel like we're in a rush to get out of poses. Take it slow. Lower one foot, then the other foot. Really make sure you get your feet down first. Now, the trick to getting off the block is you just want to lift your hips an inch. Remove the block and then very slowly lower down. And as you slowly lower down, take your feet as wide as the mat and let your knees knock in. Once you do, that's going to kind of neutralize your back. Good. And then with your feet the width of the mat and your knees in, take your hands behind your head and just windshield wash your knees to the right. And then come through center and windshield wash your knees to the left. So just do this a few cycles. It's kind of nice instead of a supine twist. Windshield washer up to center and then drop it over to the right. Up through center, over to the left. Do it through one more cycle. Through center, over to the right. Move on your breath through center, over to the left. And then come to neutral and hug your knees straight down the center line of your body. Last pose, go for a happy baby just because it feels good. Yeah, lengthen the tailbone, feel the shoulder blades melt, flex the feet. If there's ever difficulty grabbing the base of your feet, you can just grab behind your thighs. Release out nice and slow and set up here for Shavasana, complete rest. And it really is the hardest pose, but give yourself the next 2 minutes or so. To relax and let go. Take a giant breath in, and then a full, complete breath out. Arms come up over the top of the head, a big stretch. Hug your knees to your chest, big squeeze in. And rock up however which way feels good to you, and sit up nice and tall. Sit up nice and tall in this newfound body of ours. Really nice practice, guys. Bring the hands to prayer. Bow your head for a second. Embrace the way you feel after a practice. It's really something special. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. Great job. Nice practice, Nancy. See you again.